and you will receive. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened. For everyone who asks receives. For everyone who seeks finds. And for everyone who knocks, the door will be opened. Really, Jesus? Everyone who asks receives. Just like that. Just ask and have. In John chapter 16, he says, ask in my name, and God will give to you. Whatever you ask in my name, God will give to you. Wow. Jesus says, everyone who asks receives. Everyone who knocks, the door will be open. So, dear God, I pray that they would break up so I could date her or him. Amen. Dear God, I pray that I wouldn't get caught for cheating on that test yesterday. Amen. Dear God, I pray that my parents wouldn't ground me for sneaking out last night. Amen. That easy, huh? I don't know about you, but for me, the hardest thing for me to do is to pray. Giving away what I own, money and possessions, is easier to me than praying is. And I think it has to do with humility. There's something about humbling myself and saying, okay, there is some greater power, God, who can do stuff and know stuff that I don't know, that I can't do. So, I want to explain to you the reason why I mess up my praying a lot of times. And I want to explain to you 2 ways how I mess up the way that I pray. So the reason why I don't always pray the way that I think Jesus wants me to pray is because, well, in 5th or 6th grade, I think it was the end of 5th grade, and for me, and it was the summertime between 5th and 6th grade, and I was collecting baseball cards. I was at like the height of my baseball card collecting days. I'm going to say career. Collecting career. Right? I have binders and binders full of amazing baseball cards. Some of them worth hundreds of dollars. So I'm really at the height of my career. My dad, huge support for baseball card collecting because he collected cards when he was a kid. So I would get my allowances and he would drive me to the card store to buy packs and packs and packs of baseball cards. Until this one summer, right at the height, I got distracted and began to collect something a little bit different from baseball cards. Because of Pokemon. And I specifically remember walking out the front door of my house. My dad is about to drive me to the card store. He says, Corey, are you sure that you want to be spending your allowance on Pokemon cards? I said, yeah, Dad, I'm positive. Okay. He says, you know, you really should buy baseball cards if you're going to buy cards, because baseball cards are timeless. Baseball players, they will always be real people, even after they've died. Pokemon,
And so, all I want is the Charizard, right? That Charizard worth $100. I want that Charizard, that shiny Charizard. So, with all of the wisdom of a fifth grader sick with Pokemon fever, I say to my dad, Dad, Pokemon cards are always going to be cool. This is where you laugh because it's 10 years later and there's not everyone in this room holding a pack of Pokemon cards in their hands right now. They're in my closet, they're in my attic. So, my dad was right because I looked on eBay a few weeks ago at how much the Charizard card is worth. Went from $100, now it's being sold on eBay for $4. $4, 10 years later. So, my dad is obviously a human being. Okay? He's a pretty smart human being, pretty smart guy. And I was a fifth grader. There was a gap where I didn't have the perspective that my dad had. So from his perspective, he could understand Pokemon cards were going to sort of fade out. Guarantee you, your kids will not collect Pokemon cards when you grow up. Okay? Me as a fifth grader, I couldn't understand what he was telling me. So there was a bit of a wisdom gap between me as a fifth grader and him as my father. And so when I think of perspective of wisdom gap, I think us, all of us as human beings, there is a bit of a wisdom gap, a perspective gap between all of us in this room and an all-knowing, all-powerful God. God has a perspective about what I need that I don't quite have, that I can't quite acknowledge. There's always going to be a bit more wisdom from God's perspective, to say the least. So the reason that I sometimes mess up my prayers, I say them the way I probably shouldn't, is because my perspective is off. Now, I told you there are two ways that I sort of err in my prayers. The only rapper that I know is Skinny Pants. The first way. My little brother, I've told you a bit about him, Jacob. He is 14 years old now. When he was a bit younger, 5 or 6 years old, he was the bratty kid at the store. Let me just say the bratty kid in public. Yeah, you know that kid, right? Mom, can I get the donuts, please? Dad, I really want the Game Boy now. Mom, can I have the TV for my room? Dad, I want the car. Mom, can I get the lake house? Yeah, maybe not that far, but that ideal, asking for everything and everything. And my parents, of course, would usually say, no, you can't. A good try. So my brother had to learn how to be a bit of a smarter brat. He learned that, they were going to say no to all of these extravagant things, all of these sort of selfish things. So he decided, I'm going to ask for what they will probably give me. They're probably not going to give me a Game Boy when I ask for it. So, Mom, can I have that computer game because it's educational? Dad, could I have some baseball equipment? Because I need a new glove. Can you help me with that? Could I get some books for school, for pleasure, for reading? And so Jacob sort of figured out, I need to ask what my parents would give me. I think when Jesus says, whatever you ask in my name, it's sort of like that. Jacob learned how to ask in our parents' name.